Welcome back to Arifureta Anime Review episode number 21. We're here reviewing the 27th episode of the series, which is known as Haulias Assemble. This is after the beginning portion of chapter 1, and a little bit after they skip, basically like a recap of what happened, something portion here, we'll get to that. So, we started with Haijima's group, with their position. Well, they also have on board, aside from the Hydra group, which is comprised at this point of Hajime, Yu, Corey, who's in the Gaza Pasov body, which she got last season of the show, Tio, Shia. We have those main five, along with Princess Latia, Corey, Suzumi, she's the swordswoman of the group, and a couple of her classmates, and that's it. Well, they had one of the classmates portrayed him last season of the show, and like a lot of them basically probably still recovering. So they're on their way to basically, they're on an airship that Hajime made off screen. Now, in case you're curious, though, is there a scene they cut out from the anime? They cut from the source material where he made this particular ship. From rereading the actual book, no, it wasn't cut out. They just basically like, oh, Hajime made this off screen. This very good-looking airship, yes, which, from what I can tell, is not entirely CG. Looks like regular animation. Looks really good. Like, I was kind of surprised to see this was not CG. Well, he's not driving his Humvee, so why not have an airplane? Which, of course, he's piloting. And, of course, I went to the next labyrinth, which they said they have, like, 2 labyrinths left overall. So they're on the way to the Tia, I think it's like a Tia Empire, where they mention some members of where Shia has a problem with their military because they treat basically her people, the rabid beastmen, where some members of the family were killed or captured by these soldiers. So basically, like she has no problem with basically her particularly just for us the kingdom itself, because outside maybe the capital maybe there's a bit of bigotry. And of course basically like look for beastmen, Hydra basically just focus on his own thing, and of course Corey basically doesn't see that particularly of Hajime thinks, he doesn't understand how he thinks. At least he's not trying to murder him like he did last season. Here's the thing, they actually changed the ending of a chapter from season 1. Because in the actual book itself, Hajime tried to basically use stun grenades to basically Corey, Kaku, Kaku, I think his name is, the one who's very heroic, and Corey's child friend. Which, of course, they changed the anime to never happening. Like, the only reason why he basically does things with disrespect he did the first season show is because he saved them from one of their classmates who portrayed him last season of the show. Which, of course, the episode starts up with a recap of some of the events in the previous season of the show, which I at least gotta praise the fact the anime did that, because it's been 2 years since the second season aired. So, no surprise there, and the fact it's recapped by you, which I thought that was really brilliant. And of course, he was like, "Oh, nothing. I'll surprise you later." Yeah. And of course, I mentioned Mew, which gotta mention her. The fact they had to basically stay with her mom, but said we'll be back, which that's true. Yes, I do appreciate the recap. I think the recap was excellent. Nothing was held. Nothing was basically nothing major was cut out here. Nothing was changed, which makes total sense. Now, I should point out, though, Astra is doing the season by themselves. They don't have a co-producing studio, like they don't have White Fox at the first season or Studio Mother with the previous season. My guess is because my theory, the reason why they switched co-producing studio from White Fox to the Mother, because my guess is because the reception of season 1 got, and despite the fact season 2 was definitely an improvement over season 1, I think anybody who watched season 2 and watched season 1 can tell, yeah, it's definitely improvement. My guess is maybe that they had disagreement with Studio Mother, maybe they're busy with another anime, which they are. Yeah, they're actually producing an anime that I'm reading right now, that being I think they're working on the second season of As a Reincarnated Aristocrat, I Use My Praise Rise in the World. Yeah, they're basically, the studio makes that show. My guess is because with that, and my guess is studio actually really want to get this season basically as soon as possible, because they kind of relit it like a year ago. Yeah, I think it was like a year ago they relit it, which a lot of people predicted we might get season 3 due to the fact there's still plenty of source material. So, here we are with this particular season. With the last season's show, they only got the book 6. Here, we're on book 7, which is this very book right here. So, on the ship, basically, like, after all the conversations, and they get basically notified, oh, there's these 2 rabid beastmen who are running from these Imperial soldiers. And, like, oh, you can help him? I was like, no. Because they didn't say it, but yeah, he does recognize the particular rabid beastmen because he trained them back in season 1. Yes, believe it or not, that was the last time that anybody saw the rabid beastmen aside from Shia, was back in 1 episode of season 1. Yeah, and I know season 1 itself got a lot of criticism online due to how they adapted the season, where book 2 got short shaft due to the fact they pretty much adapted for 2 episodes instead of like 4. Yes, they condensed basically a over 300-page story into just 2 episodes. Yeah, they pretty much rushed book 2. Book 3 and 4 weren't that too bad at all. They adapted pretty much everything pretty well for those 2 books. And my guess is that maybe because the White Fox adapted it with that one, maybe because of script writers they had, and they probably, oh, maybe we do the same thing we did ReZero. Just go through many book as possible. But they only had 13 episodes. So that's probably the reason why that they decided to switch studios. And my guess, because their studio wasn't, they probably weren't available. So that's probably the reason by themselves. And I do find it interesting, though, the fact this season's got 16 episodes compared to the first season's show, which had 13. Yeah, 13 episodes. Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting, the fact this is actually longer than the previous 2 seasons of the show. My guess is because they probably realized, though, that book 8 probably is longer than they were probably thought it was. They probably didn't read it, per se. So that's probably the reason we got 16 episodes. Probably because basically they're planning on adapting the whole book. And maybe they might get the book 9, but who knows. So, yeah, and these RBs basically kill these Imperial soldiers, no problem. And then Hajime, Yu, and Shia go to see them. And, of course, they offer them as boss. And they all change their names. Yes, Par is known as Battlefield. And they all got nicknames now. Yes, this is kind of showing the book too. And they gave him a nickname too, either like the Red Eye Thing of Death or like the White Fang Hurricane. They couldn't exactly decide, and of course they did, in fact, like need to talk. So they all pretty much go on the airship, and they pretty much explain that they're not here to invade the Empire. They're here for kidnapping and probably just retrieving the lost beastmen. Of course, they've been luring them out, and of course, Shia's father basically they were looking. They basically drove the settlements, and so they had to. And of course, basically, Shia's father got captured, and of course, we see her basically. Now, this is from the book that Hajime notices her ears are droopy because she's basically worried about her father. Now, her father is not an idiot, because her father has a lot of respect for Hajime, given probably fear of respect, given how he treated him back in season 1 of the show. He practically gave him Spartan training back in season 1. So, he tells he's very precious. She's very precious to her, precious to him, which yes, from the book too. And those of you curious, is that a setup for something? Him basically on her face like that, and saying she's very precious to him. Yes, that is a setup for something. That will happen between books, believe it or not. Yes, this is a setup of developing Shia's character, because she has got much development since she first debuted back in episode 5.5. She does mention that apparently that before she met Hajimar, people were fighting the Imperial soldiers. And of course, despite the fact they said we're going to go to Labyrinth, they decided to go for your father. The episode ends with this person thrown into a cell, and we see it's a red person, and then they smile in a very creepy smile. Is this Shia's father? We'll find out next episode, which is, by the way, also the title of the second chapter of the book, Roar of Revolution. And that's kind of the episode in a nutshell. Yes, by the way, the stuff they bridge here, like, basically Parr himself had to, in the book they basically detailed exactly what the Beastmen were up to. They're basically up to off screen since the events of book 2. Here it's a small conversation, get pretty good gist of it per se, but they kind of had to cut off some characters. My guess is that this could be easily made to like a flashback, maybe for like next episode, maybe. Or my guess is that it might save for an OVA. Who knows? But there's plenty of material they can do with, like, because I know this thing likes cutting material, but yeah, this cut, I don't think cut too much per se, but they just kind of condensed the recap, because if you're curious, the recap of what happened, like, if you're curious, so, oh, by the way, the other people name was Lafrina and Mystira. So, okay, it's one of like, okay, so basically the recap, if you read from the book itself. So it kind of starts at some point. They kind of like, they do go through a good chunk of this chapter, but it's not full adaptation. No, it's not. But I do enjoy this episode, and can't wait for the next episode. Yes, I am watching the sub. I still have not watched the dub for Season 2. I did watch the dub for the OVA. That I did. I do own Season 2, so I might go through watching the dub pretty soon. Who knows? But yeah, that's pretty much a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, do the dislike button. Well, despite being my day off, I only got 3 anime done. So, you probably think, okay, are you going to do Isran Girls Dungeon tomorrow? First anime to do? The answer is yes. That's the first one I'm going to do. And then the next one I'm going to do is going to be, providing the fact that I don't change my order, Rama Half, Case Closed, and Fairy to One Hero's Quest. So I have 4 more anime to go. I could potentially finish it all up tomorrow or Wednesday. I hope so. But do know this. Friday is no new anime. None. Probably the first time in a few months, basically, Friday's been free. I find that interesting. Yes, because originally Isran Goes Dungeon was supposed to premiere on Friday, and then High Dive moved it up by a day. Not sure why they did that for, but they did. Yep. So, I will see you all tomorrow for next video, because I don't have time to do any more. But I'm glad I got much of that done today, so I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.